In this video, I'm going to be guiding you through Chapter 28, the current account. The current account is an official record that shows the total value of all imports and exports over a period of time. This serves as a comprehensive record of all financial transactions. A current account deficit is when the country imports more goods than it exports. Simply put, it buys more goods from other countries than it sells to other countries. A current account surplus is the other way around. This is when the total value of the country's exports is greater than the value of imports. This when it buys less things from other countries and sells more things instead. Trading goods. These are what we call visible goods or tangible goods. This deals with buying and selling of physical goods such as cars, smartphones, textiles, and jewelry. These goods will have a few features such as you can store it, hold it, feel it, try it, and touch it. Trading services. This involves, you guessed it, services, which includes entirely non-physical activities such as tourism, shipping, business consultancies, insurance, internet banking, and many more. These goods are also called intangible goods. And the relationship between the current account and exchange rate is when the exchange rate of the domestic country gets stronger, its exports, meaning the stuff that it sells to other countries, immediately becomes more expensive. As a result, it sells fewer goods to the international market as it is less competitive. However, its imports will be cheaper as the domestic country's currency is comparatively stronger. This will mean that the country can spend less of their currency to buy more imports. For example, just before the UK Brexit vote in June 2016, the real-world exchange rate was £1 to $1. And at the time of this recording, which is June 2026, it is now £1 to $1.34. Moving on to the reasons for deficits and surpluses. The first reason is the quality of domestic goods. If a country actively develops a strong reputation for high-quality goods, such as Japan, it is highly likely to enjoy rising sales from overseas buyers. This in turn will drive up the demand for exports and actively help to improve the country's current account balance. Continuing with the example of Japan, anything that is made in Japan is extremely high quality. This includes their watches such as Grand Seiko's, Casio's, and Citizen, to their camera brands like Nikon and Canon, and also their car brands such as Nissan and Toyota. The next reason is the quality of foreign goods. If goods and services from overseas are better than those produced domestically, there will be an increase in domestic demand for those imports. The rising demand for better foreign goods will have a negative impact on the current account balance. Simply put, if the goods produced at home are trash, then you would rather buy the better quality stuff internationally. Another reason is the price of domestic goods. Demand for exports is heavily influenced by price. This means that expensive domestic goods will cause the demand from overseas buyers to drastically fall. This is due to the highly competitive global international market. And the other reason is the price of foreign goods. If foreign goods are significantly cheaper than those produced at home, then there will be an increase in demand for foreign goods. This will have a negative effect on the current account, directly reducing the size of any existing surplus. Let me give you an example of this. For instance, you go to the retail store and you see a pair of Air Jordans for, let's say, $100. But then you go onto your phone and you go onto Amazon and you see the exact same pair of trainers, exact same size, color, and brand for $70, including shipping. Then I wonder which one you are going to buy. Of course, it will be the foreign good. Next, we have exchange rates between the countries. The exchange rate affects the absolute prices of domestic and foreign goods, and any changes in the exchange rate will actively impact the current account. For example, if a foreign country's currency was to depreciate, This means that it will cost less of our currency, which is the domestic currency, to buy foreign goods. As a result, the demand for goods from the foreign country will increase from the domestic country. Moving on to the impact of a current account deficit. Firstly, we have leakage from the economy. If we are continuing and constantly importing more goods that we are exporting, this represents a large financial leakage from the domestic economy. As we are spending money from the domestic economy, a foreign country, and the domestic productivity and employment will be a threat. Next, we have low demand for local exports. As a current account deficit implies that the country is heavily struggling to successfully sell its goods and services abroad, this may mean that the domestic goods are poor in quality and highly priced. This can cause the domestic economy to experience inflation if prices were to go up abroad. If businesses rely on raw materials from abroad, then the cost price of creating these goods and services will increase, and businesses will pass on these costs to the consumer, and the result of this is inflation. And finally, problems finding foreign reserves. As money and reserves is scarce, a country strictly needs foreign currency to physically pay for the rising quantity of imports. A country may need to borrow foreign currency in order to pay for imports, which increases their debt burden. And when the country is in debt, this is not beneficial for the country. I hope that helped. I hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.